Here it is, the 2021 Traxxas Bronco on the bench. And with it, a whole lot of upgrades. And this is just the beginning. Good morning. Yeah, it's early, but I couldn't sleep a whole lot last night. Buddy of mine, Chad, come over last night with a 2021 Bronco trx4 in one hand and a whole bag of goodies in the other hand. So I was quite excited to dig into this and get her going. So first, we're going to throw in the light kit, the Pro Scale light kit for the 2021 Bronco. Right there. Awesome kit. Signal lights, tail lights, reverse lights, hazard lights, every light you can imagine, this bad boy will do it. So let's get it in. All right, so the first thing we're going to dig into is our lighting system. We got the Pro Scale Traxxas Bronco lighting system. And this is, as it says, the complete lighting system. Gives you everything that it does right there. So headlights, you got the halos, you got the brake light, reverse light, turn signals, and you got hazard lights. All on your RC truck. So let's dig into this box and see what it gives us. First bag here, we got some connectors and screws, and we got some wire ties, quite a few wire ties. Those will come in handy. Looks like we got our tail lights with all the connectors. There you go. And this must be our headlights. Look at the amount of LEDs. That's just cool right there. So yeah, nope, all pre-wired, ready to go, plug and play. This here, so this is our the brains of the operation. This here bolts to the frame of the truck. And this one here bolts to the actual body of the truck and plugs into this one here. So that's how much room you have right there. That's quite a bit of room. So when you want to take the body off and on the truck, you've got at least a foot of wire. So you don't have to worry about pulling wires or breaking wires, and that's a pretty sturdy cable as well. So, well, that's pretty awesome. And looks like we got some mounting brackets. So this here will be our mounting bracket for our body. That'll bolt inside the body and hold this one. And we got this mounting bracket that bolts to our frame and holds this one right here. What else we got in here? We got a little bit of silicone grease. So that's for our receiver box. So when we take our receiver box apart and run our wires through, we can re-grease our end, and that's our waterproofing for our receiver box. And we got some brake light pipe decals. Now, these ones here on the back of the truck go right along here across the taillight edge. Right there. I'll show you in a little more detail in a minute. But they go inside right there, so it stops the reflection of the light. So the light doesn't go all over hell. So there, and that looks like the entire contents of our lighting system right there. So now comes the hard part. We just got to get it in the truck. Oh, and just in case you're wondering, I don't care if my hands get dirty. It's just much easier to see things with a blue glove background. All right, let's get this light system in. Start with pulling the screws in our receiver box, because we got to get into that. So we'll get them out of the way first. And we're going to pull a couple screws out of our battery tray box as well. So we can lift our tray so we can run our wires from one side. So our bracket for the brains of the system goes on our ESC side. So we have to run a wire from our ESC side all the way underneath and over into our receiver box. So I'm going to start by pulling these here. We'll get them out of the way. give you a quick look here. If you can see right there, you see how there's a little bit of grease in there? So that is what our grease is for, and that's a waterproofing agent there. So all of our wires go into a receiver box, and there's a little piece of foam in there, and it gives a little pinch, and then you put your bit of grease in there, and bang, waterproof. And it seems to work really well. Traxxas likes to do it, so got to be good if Traxxas does it, right? There, make sure we don't lose no screws. Oh. There's a little bit closer look at our receiver box there. So I'm going to pull, there's 2 screws right here and right here on the battery tray. So we pull these screws out, and then we can lift our battery tray up so we can get at our wires. Down there. Just like that. There, so you can see there, you can see this wire right here. So we have our servo wires that run all through over to our ESC. And that gives us a clean path. We could run our wire for our lighting kit. So I'm going to dig into this a little bit more, and then we'll get back with you the closer we get to having the lights. Alright everybody, so I'm just kind of learning here as I go too. So there's just took a little, I'm very particular with wires, and I know Chad is too. So I just wanted to take a little extra time here, so it just took me a few more minutes just to tidy up some wires and make sure everything's run perfect. There's one thing I actually didn't like. So we have a little motor sensor here. So we have a couple of little connectors. Let me try to zoom in here. So we got these little connectors here. So what they do, they just kind of slip on over the actual motor wires, right? And then they have 2 lead wires that go into our brains of our lights. So it's just a motor sensor. Well, the way they fit, they left a bit of a gap in between. So we still had some metal showing. I didn't like that. So what I did is I just went over and I just took a little bit of shrink tube and just covered up our bit of a gap. So now when our motor's plugged back in, everything is covered. There's nothing, no metal showing, and it's a little better waterproofing. So that's kind of one thing I noticed I didn't really like. So I'm just going to try to hide this wire. Okay. So just getting the battery tray bolted in. I got everything, all my wires where I want them. So everything looks nice and clean. Set that out of the way for a sec. Alright, so everything's all tied in. And as you can see, here's our blue wire, and I've got it run all the way through nice and neat under the tray. You can just see how it comes out here and through and right into our receiver box. So everything's nice and clean. Also, our little sensor that I'm not quite fond of, but that's nice. Everything's nice and clean. That was the biggest thing, right? I want to keep it nice and clean, looking nice and stock. So I'm just going to toss in the last 2 screws for the battery tray, and then I do believe we're on to the actual lights in the body. So that's going to be fun too. Alright, so let's get into this body. So we have a cross brace right here, and it looks like we've got about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 screws to get this one brace right here. As you see, so let's get them going. Get that off. And then they just pop right in, just like that. There's one. See if I can get this here camera for you. So you come from the inside, pull straight out, and they pop right out just like that. Easy, easy. So, looks like we've got 2 more screws holding the whole headlight bezel together as a whole. And those look like 1.5s. So let's give it a try. 1.5 they are. Good. There are 2 little screws. Our back of our headlight comes off, and you'll see this white plate right here. Pop that white plate out. Right there. Throw it over your shoulder, because it's no longer any good to you. Grab our headlight. Everything all pre-wired, ready to go. Have our leads come down. Headlights are all connected, as you can see. So everything is labeled. So the headlight itself is labeled right. And then right here in the very fine print, you have the R1. So that's for our right headlight. So you just set your LED after you throw that little white thing away, that white piece of plastic. Set your LED light, fits perfect. Throw your back cap back on. Drop your 2 little 1.5 screws back in it. And then that one's done. We'll do the same with the other one. And then get them snapped back into place. When you do buy this kit, it looks a lot more intimidating than what it really is. It does come with a set of great instructions, walks you through it perfectly, and the truck is literally set up for it. There's tie points everywhere for your wire ties, so you can run your wires nice and clean, zip tie them up out of the way. Everything is plug and play. This kit also comes with... doesn't come with it, but you can buy it extra. The Traxxas link for your remote, so you can run your lighting system right off your cell phone with the Traxxas link app. But you can also, if you don't have the Traxxas link and you don't want to dump the money into Traxxas link because all you're going to use it for is just your lights, you can use it without it. So there's little buttons up on top, and I'll show you them after once we get everything all together. You can program your lights through the little box on your frame. So you don't need the Traxxas link. It's just kind of a cool feature. You can go on and program them to do different things. So it's just kind of cool that way. But like I said, this kit looks a lot more intimidating when it's in the box and you read the instruction book. It's quite detailed, but once you get into it, it's actually pretty badass and goes together pretty quick. Get this last screw put in here. There. So there. Oh, our other white thing. Over our shoulder. Garbage. There we go. All right, so there you go, guys. So there's your front headlights. All in. All assembled with the LEDs. All you got to do, reverse the process, put them back in. And you can take your time. I'm going to take my time, so we'll get back to when we go on the rear lights. I'm going to put these in nice and get them all tied away so the wires are nice for Chad, and it just looks good, right? So I'll be back with you here, and we'll get the tail lights going here in a few minutes, and then yeah, maybe we can get this thing fired up and have some headlights today. All right, so we got our front lights all in and all wired. Another thing too, make sure when you're running your wires, make sure you're under your body clips. So these are the new Traxxas trx4 clips. So they just pop into little holes on the inner fenders, and that's what holds your body on. And you want to make sure you got nothing obstructing those clips, because it's a pinch point. So you don't want to wreck your wires. So make sure you're under your both braces, front and rear, right? That way you don't screw up your wires. So let's get on to the rear lights. And those look a lot more simple. From what I'm seeing, we got 4 screws. So let's see if I'm right. I wasn't on the headlights. There you go. There's your tail light. 2 screws, pops right out. So as you can see, 1 screw and 1 just below it. So those 2 screws right there, and the headlight will pull right out. So we'll get both tail lights out. Get both of those out, and we'll set the body aside for a minute. Alright, so our 2 screws are out. As you can see, it moves. You just take it. You just twist it out, just like that. Bang, they pop right out. Alright. So let's dig into these. Same thing goes, as you can see, top and bottom. We got 2 little screws right there. 1.5s, and they pop out. Let's try not to do it with a 2. Alright. I can get my hands on the right screwdriver, we'll be all set. Alright, 2 little screws. Bang. Now look at that. We get to throw more garbage over our shoulders. Done. Take this one apart. Actually, let's just do one at a time. And that's where our little stickers come in. If you've seen at the beginning there, we have brake light pipe decal, right? These ones here. So what you do is you actually pull the inside of your tail light out. So you've got the plastic casing, this comes out, right? So along this edge right here is where that little decal goes. And that's just so it doesn't give a reflection off the body, okay? So these little stickers right here go right across that large flat edge right there. So let's do that. Get that out of the way. Just like that. So that takes care of all of your reflection. So those are cool little stickers there. All right. Let's get our light put in. Same thing as the front lights. Everything's all pre-wired, pre-soldered, and pre-heat shrink, whatever you want to call it. So there's our tail lights right there. And they just set right in place. As you, I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's 2 little dowels. Can you see those? Those little dowels, little nibs right there. And there's 2 little holes, top and bottom in each light, and they sit right inside of them, just like that. They just pop right in. So easy. Everything's just so easy. Just bang, pops right in. Then your back goes back on. Then you dump your two little 1.5 screws back in, and away you go. You got your headlight in, your tail lights in. Do you want to say headlights? I don't know why I keep wanting to say headlights, but I do. Your lights. All right. So just like that. And bang. You got yourself a tail light ready to go with your lights. So we're just going to reverse the process, and I'm going to finish this one off, and I'm going to dump them all back into place. I'm going to run my wires, and then I'll come back and we will get our module in. We'll get that mounted and we'll get everything plugged in, and I'll be right back. All right, everybody. So I was going to bring you back to do the distribution block for our lights for our body. But I figured out one thing. Fat fingers and little wires makes a lot of cursing and swearing. So I just went ahead and I just installed our little distribution block here. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see it that well. Let me give you a little bit of zoom here. So our little distribution block here. There, get some light on the subject. So we've got all kinds of little wires. Everything is all color-coded, as you can see. All of our wires are marked A, B, C, and certain colors. So there's my C. It's got a red, so that goes there. A, B, and then we've got a couple wires. One wire, longer one that comes over on this side from the rear tail lights. So trying to get them little buggers in there was, let's just say, a pain in the arse. So I just went ahead and I put everything all together. But as you can see, everything is all labeled. It's all plug and play. I can't stress how simple it is unless you have sausage fingers trying to get these in here. Then you swear a lot. But hey, regardless. So there's 4 screws. You got 2 screws for your mount for your body, and you got 2 screws for your distribution block. This one and this one up here. All just plug and play. And as you can see, I tied up the wires nice while I was at it. So everything's out of the way. Everything's run nicely. It's nice and it's as clean as you're going to be able to get it, in my opinion. And if not, hey, jump down in the comments. Let me know what I did wrong, if I did something wrong that you've noticed, and I can fix it. Or if you see a different way of doing it, let me know, right? So anyway, so there's our lead. And that's what plugs into our truck from now on, right there. So we don't have to worry about nothing. Just bang, plug it into the truck, and you've got your lights. So there it is. So that's the body all taken care of. Right there. Front, rear. It's all mounted. It's all run. It's all tied up. Looks nice. I think it looks pretty sharp. Hopefully Chad likes it. So yeah. So there's our lights. All run, ready to go. Okay, so what are we going to do next? As you've seen the little pile at the beginning of the video, we've got lots of upgrades going to happen to this truck. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to hold off on showing you guys this right now. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get all the upgrades done to the truck, and then we'll come out and we'll bring it all in at once and give you just bang, give you everything, give you a video of the entire truck. So for right now, I hate to leave you like this, but I'm gonna. Until the next upgrade. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick with us, and we'll see you on the other end.